Hi everybody, welcome to another vlog. My name is Leisha Renice and I am a DIY musician. And that's actually what I want to talk about today. Recently, my husband and I got a chance to go to the CD Babies DIY Musician Conference 2019, held in Austin, Texas, from August 16th until the 18th. So this was our first time actually in Austin. Was it your first time in Austin, baby? Yeah, this was his first time too. And I really wanted to go to the one last year, but I think it was in Nashville, and for some reason we couldn't make it. Either it was too expensive or like the stay was too expensive. But as you know, me and my husband are traveling full-time in our RV now, so the way we routed our journey through the country for our first leg is that we had a few stops that we had to make. And so one of those stops was the DIY Musician Conference. Yay! So it was August, so first things first, it was hot. It was very, very hot. I actually just want to do like a quick review of my experience at the conference. I was gonna say festival. At the conference, and what I liked, what I didn't like, what I would recommend for you guys, and if I think you guys should go again. So yeah, so first things first, is really, really hot. I'm from the DMV area, and we think that's hot and humid and stuff like that. When you get to Austin in August, that's hot. It's burning up, and it's kind of like it's still humid, right? Like it was still kind of humid. And so they had the conference at a hotel, and there were restaurants in the hotel, but one restaurant didn't open up until nighttime or something. And then they had like a Starbucks and like, of course, the hotel's restaurant. So during lunch we would go out and go get food. The thing is though that you would have to walk to these places, of course, but it's like blazing, like it's just casually like 100 and something degrees, and so you're sweaty by the time you come back. So that was one thing I didn't like, but again, you can't change that. It's Texas. That's just the weather. So the first day we got there, we actually checked in. We got our little pouches, our little bags. Do I have a bag? Yeah, I have a bag. So they give you like this goodie bag, and it has your schedule for the entire time you're there. Thank you. They also give you like a little tote. It's like, I love DIY Musician Con, with the dates on it. Inside they also give you, this is another guide for your conference, with a more detailed description of each session. Like this is just like to carry around, and it gives you like what everyone's doing every day at every time. You know, just a general whatever. But if you want a deeper description of your session, then you go to this book. This is also filled with some of their supporters and some of their, I guess, sponsors. So they had a lot of sponsors. So if you're like a sound person, they had like Shure there. They do like mics and stuff like that. They had Sound Exchange, Musicians Institute. I've never heard of that. Musicpreneur Academy. Like they had a whole bunch of different sponsors and exhibitors, and so they shot them out in the back as well. So we checked in, got our stuff, and the first session was this group session, was like to set everything off, was an amazing singer-songwriter from Austin, and they had her speak about telling your story, and yeah, so that was pretty good. And then after that they had another, I guess, like grand session, and then after that they split up into different breakout sessions. The thing about the breakout sessions, and this is kind of one thing I didn't like, was that on any given day you could have 6 different sessions going on. I don't know if I can see this. 6 different sessions going on like at the same time. And it's frustrating because a lot of people were there by themselves, or they were there. I was lucky to be there with my spouse so that he could go to sessions I wanted to go to, and I can go to sessions that I wanted to go to too. And he would record the audio for me, and so I can look back on the notes and stuff that he took. But for someone by themselves, like, it sucks to have to choose one thing when there's 6 things going on that might pique your interest. One suggestion I think I would give for that is maybe they would have the same session done at least like twice. And so if you miss the first session, they'll have it at a different time so that you can go to the session again. So yeah, so they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 5 breakout sessions for the first day. And again, like I said, each one was at least 6 choices. So some of the things that we went to is like how to get playlisted, preparing for a successful release. We didn't go to that one. Make passion your paycheck. So there were great people who were from, like, I guess of course the independent music experience, but there were different, I guess, tiers of successful people. And again, I don't want to say that they were less successful, because success is really determined on how you determine your success, right? It depends on how you determine what success is for you. And so what I found was the best sessions were from the people who I didn't know about, who I never heard about, who weren't trying to sell me nothing, just giving their life story. There's this guy from the Austin area. His name was Saul Paul, and that's Saulpaul, and I think that's his name on Instagram. You can follow him. He taught us how to use like the loop pedal, and so that was one of my favorite sessions. Not only because he taught us how to use a loop pedal, but because, you know, he like gave us like inspiration for our life. He was telling us to make our own way to make money and things like that. Because the truth is, they had someone there from Spotify to talk about, what do you call it, playlisting and streaming and stuff like that. But the truth is, you only make 0.0064 cent every time somebody streams your music. And so a lot of people are trying really hard to get playlisted and are trying really hard to get streams and stuff like that. And that's a whole other conversation for a whole other vlog. But he was saying that we should make our own money. And he was black, and his story is amazing. I suggest you check him out. And that was really inspiring to me, because even though it was in like Austin, there were a few black people there, but I was really excited to hear sessions from black independent artists who don't go the route of like trying to get signed and stuff like that, and who are singer-songwriters like me. So yeah. Then they had a break for lunch. The one thing I didn't like is during the lunch break, they also had sessions. So like you have to choose between eating and going to a session. And I feel like maybe this conference can be like a little bit longer so that they can fit all the stuff that they need to fit in there, because it's a lot. Like, let me show y'all. Like, this is the first day. These are all the sessions they had. And then the second day just gets worse. Not worse, but more packed. Like, it's just a lot of stuff. And then the last day is like really light, you know? So maybe if they made it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it would be less packed and less crammed, because I don't want to have to choose between getting lunch and going to a session. Another con, I'm gonna get to the pros in a minute, don't worry. Another con is that some of the sessions, people were trying to sell you stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a webinar or something, but like they pitch, like it's like an hour long, right? An hour long session. Mind you, there were other sessions going on at the same time that could have helped me, right? So there was a session that was like an hour long, and this guy was giving his experience, getting us all hyped up, and like the session was called, what was it called? How to make a full-time income on music. And so of course people are going to come because that's what they're trying to do. A lot of people are trying to do. Some people aren't, but some people are. And so he gave his life story, and he got us all jazzed up and fired up. And then at the end, it was a sales pitch for like, what was it, like $4,000? And then that day you could sign up for like 400 or something like that. I might have the numbers wrong. It might be like 1,000 to 400. But he said like, oh, you'll only get this deal if you sign up right now. And so for me, it was like, okay, like I'm willing to invest, but that's why I'm here. Like, it costs money to get here. It costs, like, we had to stay in an Airbnb because there was no place to park our RV local. Like, it costs money to get here. And what I really feel like would work is if he shared, like, maybe, because if it was like a 10-step process, if he shared step 1, that would get me hooked and want to invest in his stuff if it's showing me that it's really going to help me. But he just gave this vague thing, and it was for an hour. And then at the end, people were kind of pissed off because it's like, yo, we didn't come here to get pitched at. We came here to get help. And then if you helped us, then we'll give into your business. But anyway, that's preference, whatever. Some people signed up, most people did not, and yeah. So I think those are pretty much all the cons I had. Oh, also, which was really cool. This is cool, but again, it was hot. They have an open mic. They have an open mic going on the entire conference. So I guess we can go to the pros. There's an open mic going on all the time during the conference. They have little slots, and so you can sign up. And so people can come into the room and see you do your performance during the open mic. So I think that's really cool. But they also have an open mic at nighttime. And the way that they do this is by lottery. So you go and you sign up and you put your name in a bucket. And so during the open mic session, it was at Cheer Up Charlie's in Austin. And it's a really cool venue. I think had it not been so hot, I would have enjoyed it. And y'all just gonna have to keep hearing me say that it was hot, because it was just really hot. Like, it was like miserable heat. Like, the sun was going down and we were still sweating. And so, yeah, so they call your name by pulling your name out of a hat. And if your name doesn't get called, you don't go up. So I think that's really cool. But they also had an outdoor venue where they had other performers perform. So I guess they picked them before the conference started. So that was really cool. Another pro. The first night, the main speaker was Questlove. So if you don't know who Questlove is, look up The Roots. He's the drummer. He usually has like a fro and a pick in his head. He's also like this musical genius. He's really smart, really inspiring to listen to, and he's a nerd. Like, I like that about him. He's like a musical nerd. Is it geek? I guess, like, he's really knowledgeable about his stuff, and he's really like geeky about it. Like, he geeks over this stuff. And so it was really cool to hear his inspiration and his tips given to independent artists like me who are just starting out, who want to be successful. The second night, our speaker was DMC from Run DMC. It was really cool. He gave his story about how he actually came to be a part of the group. I never really heard his side of the story before. I always heard Rev Run's side, really, and his involvement, and even like his older brother. What's his name? Russell Simmons, duh, like his older brother, and hearing about how they got involved in hip hop, because me and my husband watch a lot of like hip hop documentaries, and so like they usually have the same people. I've never seen DMC in one of those things, I don't think, or maybe I have, but he really didn't tell his story. And so he was really inspirational, really inspiring. He gave his story about how he dealt with depression, alcoholism, being suicidal, how he came back from that. I thought that was really, really inspiring and encouraging to other people. And also how he loved rock music. I thought that was really cool. I never knew that. But again, kind of, I guess hip hop and rock kind of, they're family, right? So anyway, so that was really cool. I would have never have gotten that experience. I didn't even know that he was coming, to be honest. I don't even think I knew that Questlove was coming. So that was really cool. What else? Of course, a lot of the sessions are really good. Like I said, I love the sessions from the people who are more like down to earth, that weren't trying to sell me anything. They weren't these multi-millionaires. It was these people that make a living, make enough every day. Like the people who had like 4,000 followers as opposed to like 100K. Those were the people I really resonated with, because I felt like they were more like in reach, as opposed to the people that's like, oh yeah, I built this business by selling to other people. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to sell to other people. I just kind of want to make music and maybe do some other things on the side. Another session I really liked, there was a session, it was called What If I Don't Want to Move to Nashville? And it was about people who don't live in the cities like Nashville, like the musical cities like Nashville or like LA or Portland, I guess. I never knew that was like a music town. Or people who don't live in New York, like these different places, or Atlanta. If you don't live in these hubs, like how can you still be a successful musician? And they gave a lot of good ideas. Some of these I'm going to share with you guys, like just off the top of my head. Teaching classes, like, okay, and it's not even just like teaching kids. Like you can go to your local, which I'm starting to do, go to my local parks and planning and ask if I can teach classes at night, or to the seniors, or to people, who just want to learn. You can start your own collective in your own area, start your own open mic. You can, there are a lot of things that you can do to make money, and not, when you're not in one of those locations, those like hubs. So I hope that's making sense. What else? We got to see some great artists again at the open mic. We got to see some great art. They have like a jam room, so you can go down there and actually just like play around with music and vibe with people and just like jam. That's the whole point. Like, it's a jam room. So overall, I would say that I really loved my experience. There were some things I didn't like, of course. Like I said, how jam-packed everything was. Everything was back to back to back. But I get it. They were trying to end everything at 5, right? So the day started at 9:30, and they wanted to end everything at like 5 or 6. And so, of course, things ran over. Like the speakers at nighttime, of course, they ran over because it's not enough time. Just giving room for error and stuff like that. You're giving 5 minutes for people to get from one session to another session. But other than that, I really had a great time. I went to the open mic night the first night. The second night I really didn't want to, just because it was hot and I just wanted to go home. And you're being around people all day. For some people that's really exciting. But for me, I just wanted to go to like learn. And so maybe next year I can go to actually like interact and network with other people. And I still met some other really cool people, so that was a benefit. But yeah, overall I would go again. I would suggest that you go as well. I learned a lot. it had me thinking about things I never thought of before. You know, all we're sold really is like, oh, get streams, get signed, or, you know, sell albums or whatever. But this really helped me think outside the box in terms of making a living with music. And everyone's making a living with music looks different, you know, and it works for them. Some people dedicate 80 hours of their week to making music, and some people can only dedicate like 20 because they're married and they have families and they're not willing to sacrifice that time with their family just for success. But for them, success is being able to make a living and spend time with their families. And I think that's kind of the track that I'm leaning more towards. And it was really inspiring to see people like, yeah, you can still make it and you can make a living and you don't have to, you know, forfeit who you are or compromise. That's what I'm looking for, compromise. So I will go again. I'm probably going to go next year, Lord willing. Maybe, we'll see. I want to go again. And I think the only thing I would do differently is look at the schedule beforehand and then decide what I want to go to. Look up the people that are teaching the lessons so that I know, okay, am I really trying to do this or not? Like, are they somebody I want to model myself after? And I would also network more. I would also take more opportunities to actually perform and stuff like that. I just kind of wasn't in the performing mindset, so I didn't really want to do the open mic. You know, it's just kind of like, I just kind of want to observe. So maybe next year I'll do that when I actually, you know, have my mindset on what I actually want to do. So I hope this was helpful. If not, you can ask me questions. You can ask me specific questions about it. The conference was fairly cheap. That's one thing. Another thing I want to say, it was fairly cheap compared to other conferences. Like, other conferences can run like $400+, you know what I'm saying, and just to attend. When me and my husband registered for early bird, I think it was like $99 a piece, right? $99. And I think the highest they got to was like 150 or something, and it goes up like in increments. So sorry, I was asking, my husband's right here, so I was asking, but he says hi. But yeah, so early bird, get your tickets, and then figure out your plan later. That's what I would say. We stayed in an Airbnb and locally. It wasn't down the street. We didn't stay in the hotel because the hotel it was at a Hilton, and it was really expensive to stay there. So we knew we weren't going to do that because we're trying to save money. And we have an RV, so we stayed in an Airbnb. We just took our car, drove, and I think we stayed maybe like 15, 20 minutes outside of the actual like downtown Austin, and we just stayed out like on the outside of Austin, which was fine. You know, we weren't really trying to go out there and be in the nightlife anyway. It was just really hot. So yeah, but if you have money, you can always just stay at the hotel that they have it at, you know. But yeah, for us, it was just different. So yeah, so I met some great people. Learned some things. They provide breakfast. That's a benefit. It was like muffins and stuff and orange juice. So like continental breakfast. Bananas, apples. And yeah, so I would go again, and I would recommend that you guys go as well. So I hope that you all keep this in mind if you're thinking about becoming a DIY musician, which is basically an independent artist, and who does everything themselves, or who has a small team, or people who are not signed to a label. That's basically all it means. And yeah, I think next year it's going to be the end of August. So like that last weekend in August, that's when they're going to have it. And it's going to be in Austin, Texas again. So yeah, so prepare yourself because it's hot. But other than that, the food was good, really good. We went to Gus's world famous chicken after it was done. There's some food options. It's mostly like restaurants, like you sit down. They have a Chipotle, they have a Subway. The Subway was a little, apparently. But yeah, so Gus's world famous chicken was really good. So yeah, other than that, I don't have any other recommendations because we didn't really stay around that long. And so yeah, so I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Parking was okay. The first day we found parking on the street, and we just kept our car there. We just kept loading the meter over and over again. It was cool, but it's hot outside, so like, I don't know, don't keep nothing important in your car, because even the trunk was hot. Like the water was hot in our trunk. The Saturday night we went to a garage. Saturday day we went to a garage, and we stayed there, and it was like $15 for all day. So we just did that as opposed to just keep loading it. And Sunday the parking is free, so that was a benefit. We just parked on the street again. So yeah, so hope this was helpful. I don't know, is there anything else I should talk about that I didn't touch on? It was really good, guys. So again, CD Babies DIY Musician Conference 2020 is going to be in Austin, Texas, the last weekend. So be on the lookout for that, and I would suggest you get your early bird tickets. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you later.